Hey guys, welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're going to be doing a champion guide on Duchess Lilitu. So this champion is probably top 5 in the game for me. She's incredible, so good in so many different types of content. If you manage to pull her early, well done. You know, the game's going to be a lot easier for you. Content you'll sail through because this champion can carry most teams through a lot of content. She's that good. So I'm just going to do a little short guide on her, explaining artifacts, skills, masteries and rate her as well. So let's go ahead with the skills first. Her A1 attacks one enemy 2 times, then places a shield buff equal to 10% of the champion's max HP, and also the champion with the lowest HP, and it's for 2 turns. Once booked, it will be an extra 30% HP, which is huge. This is actually a really handy A1. It's really good at keeping your sort of squishy nukers alive. You know, once maybe a Cold Heart's getting down to low shields, low health even, she can stick a wee shield on the lowest health ally. So very, very useful A1. Her A2, probably her best ability apart from her passive. It places a 50% increased attack buff and all block debuffs buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also a perfect veil on all allies except this one for 2 turns. So this is huge. Increased attack's great, but the block debuffs is insane. It means you can't be poisoned, no attack down, defense down. It's really, really handy, especially in arena, but super useful in PvE content as well. The perfect veil is just kind of the creme de la creme of this ability. So a normal veil basically means you can't be targeted. So if it sticks a normal veil on a champion, the champion will go kind of translucent and it can't be targeted by single spell abilities, single target abilities, sorry. AoE abilities will still hit them, but there's a reason that's good as well, which I'll explain in the passive at the end. So a perfect veil is slightly different than a normal veil because when under a normal veil, if the champion attacks or gets hit, the veil lifts, but the perfect veil stays on for 2 turns regardless, so it's very, very strong, this ability. Her A3 revives all dead allies with a huge chunk of HP, 70%, also places the same ability as Shroud, Shroud of Souls, but it's a normal veil, so places a veil buff on all allies except this champion, but just for 1 turn as well. But it also puts a 15% continuous heal buff on all the allies for 2 turns, including her. So this is another huge ability. If you can get her speed up and a lot of turn meter stuff to give her when people die, like through the Masteries, basically whenever people die, she's going to pop up, she's going to revive them all with a bunch of HP, then put a veil on them. She's going to be tough as nails because you've built her tough as nails, so super, super good ability again. Now lastly, this is her standout ability for me. This is insanely good. So it basically just decreases the damage taken by all allies, including her, from AoE attacks by 25%, also 15% from bosses. But then it decreases the damage taken by all allies from AoE attacks by 40% if they're under a veil buff, and 25% from bosses. So most of the time between Spectral Rebirth and Shroud of Souls, you're going to have a veil on your champions, and 40% damage less from AoEs, and AoEs are huge in this game. You know, most of the kind of best champions in this game do AoE attacks. This is massive. In arena, this is huge. 25% from bosses, though, is massive as well. This is a really, really good ability. And the fact that the veils mean that they have to be AoEs that will only hit them. So like I said before, under a veil, the only damage that can hit the people under the veil is AoEs. So they're going to be under this veil and taking 40% less damage the whole time, which is absolutely huge. Insane ability, definitely what makes Duchess so good. Lastly, and just to top off, she's got a great aura, increases ally speed in all battles by 19%. There's more, you know, you get 23 with Gorgrab, I think Kaimar gives 30, but she gives it in all battles, so you can use her in anywhere in the game and she'll give a speed increase, which is really, really handy. Right, we're going to move on to our Masteries next. So it's important with Masteries, don't just blindly copy mine. Go through all of the abilities in the Masteries and have a look and see what works for you. But Duchess is pretty much good at doing one thing and one thing only, and that is she's very, very, very good at keeping people alive, putting them under veil. She's not a damage dealer at all, so there's not going to be a huge variation in all these things, but I'm just going to go through them quickly. So I've got her starting off in the defense tree with resistance, so I'll show you in her artifacts as well, but I've gone fairly resistance heavy in this build. You want her, because she's going to be the only person that can be targeted by single target attacks, you want her resistance really high so she can't have debuffs put on her. I mean, she's going to have block debuffs on as well, but there's going to be a point when she maybe revives a bunch of allies and only puts the veil on but doesn't have the block debuffs. So you want her resistance high enough that she can't get debuffed, which is really good. I've gone down here to improve parry. So this is always handy. I use this on a lot of my champions if they're going down the defensive tree. 8% is quite a big chunk, and critical hits are massive in this game. Moved all the way down here. There's nothing too, this is all fairly self-explanatory. It's basically just to get down to these bottom two here. So I really want the Cycle of Revenge. This gives more turn meter when allies are attacked with critical hits. Again, in the arena, they're always going to be getting hit with critical hits, and the more turn meter that Duchess gets, the more she can use her veils. So you really want to boost her speed and her turn meter, and she'll be flying. Lastly, obviously, Retribution. I use this in most of my defense champions. The counter attack, again, is pretty massive. Then down the support tree, I've gone max HP right off the start. She doesn't actually need any accuracy. She doesn't apply any debuffs. So this is another really good thing about her, because when you're gearing her, you can basically wipe out all attack and all accuracy. So you can really focus on making her beefy. So loads of HP, loads of defense, loads of resistance, and loads of speed. So I've gone all the way down here. I've taken off this one because it increases the amount of healing and value of shield buffs placed by this champion. So she does both. She does healing and shield buffs, so this is really handy. Again, rapid response, more turn meter control, manipulation. I've taken Lore of Steel. I'm not particularly getting the use out of this right now, but I only went there so I could definitely get the Evil Eye. I use her for arena a lot, and Evil Eye I use on most of my champions. This is really good. The first time you use her A1, it will decrease the turn meter by 20%, which is very useful. Some more speed with Spirit Haste, and I've gone down to the very bottom, Timely Intervention. This increases the champion's turn meter by 20% whenever an ally hero drops below 25% HP, so very useful. Again, as you can see, I'm trying to build a really fast champion with loads of extra turn meter when things happen in the game, so she's constantly going to be getting her turns up. She'll be reviving, she'll be putting veils on, and just being a pain in the arse basically. Great, so that is the Masteries. So if we go over to the artifacts now, I'll show you our stats first. So at the moment, I've not got our stats perfect at all. There's a lot of things I need to change in this, but I'm running huge HP at the moment. She's running on 74k HP. Her attack's a little high. I'd like to take away some of this attack if possible, because it's pretty useless in this build. She's up at 1.7k. Her defense I would like to get up more. That's really where I want to push some more defense stats on her, but I just need to get the right gear. Her speed's not too bad. I've got her at 232 just now. You just want this as high as you can possibly get. Get as much speed gear on her as possible. Again, her crit rate and crit damage, not any use to her. I'm trying to ideally I'd like some more stats that take away the attack part and the critical rate and the critical damage, and put more stuff on like speed, defense, and resistance. I've got a resistance up at 210, which is okay just now. Again, I need to get it higher, and 35 for her accuracy, which is fine. She doesn't need it, so as little of that as possible. The set bonuses I'm using is lots of speed, so speed, divine speed, and divine speed. Again, like I said before, she's not getting massive amount of use out of this, the Lore of Steel, which only increases the speed set, not the divine one. But because she has such high max HP, she's got 70 odd K, she's going to get quite a decent shield, because it's a 15% HP self shield for 3 turns from the divine speed set, so they are really good. I got pretty good rolls in these, so that's why I'm using them. So obviously went with speed boots. This is actually a really good pair of boots for what she needs. I would have taken the double roll on crit rate to defense instead, and it would have been perfect, and obviously the accuracy gone as well, but the HP is really good and the speed's really good. I've got her an HP chest. This could be defense or HP, to be honest. Either one's fine. I've kind of gone more HP in this build because I just found through testing that the more HP she has, the better our A1 is, and there's not a massive difference in survivability, and she also gets a really good shield from the start of the game for arena. because of the divine set, so that's kind of why I've gone so HP heavy, because as you can see her gauntlets are HP as well. So again, you could kind of alter between these two, maybe one of them HP, one of them defense. Now the gauntlets are not ideal, to be honest. They have a double roll and attack, which is useless, so this is where I could really kind of min-max this build. So if that was defense double roll, this would be perfect, or if this HP was a percentage rather than a flat stat, it would be perfect, but it will do for just now. Got a good roll in the weapons, got speed, HP, resistance and crit damage. Don't particularly need crit damage, but it's still usable, so it's not like attack or accuracy not doing anything, so that's not too bad, but this is a good weapon. And again, just looking for things like resistance, defense, HP, got that on the helmet. Once again, got a double roll on crit damage, could have done with the defense or resistance on that. And good rolls on the shield though. Accuracy is useless, but got the speed, got resistance and a double roll on HP, which was really handy. In terms of the accessories, haven't got great ones yet, but I'm just using what I can, so I just use this because it's got a 10% HP. There's a lot better out there. Crit damage, not much use again. I'd probably rather have an HP, but the double roll on resistance is what made this one useful, so I've stuck that on. And then obviously resistance banner. The accuracy banner is no use, so definitely stick on a full resistance banner. And again, attack's not any use. Speed and HP are both use, but I got the roll on attack, unluckily again, so loads of room for improving this build, but I'm just going to give you an idea of what you need. So your standout stats that you really need, and I would probably do them in this order, is number 1 speed, number 2 HP, and tied for number 3 is defense and resistance. So that's the things you want. You want loads and loads of speed so she takes her turns, plenty HP so she's super tough, and her A1 and her any shield set bonuses she gets are much stronger, and lastly defense and resistance for obvious reasons. So I think what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and review her. So let's go through these one by one. So in Clan Boss she actually gets a 4.9. She is not really rated that high in Clan Boss. You don't see her much at sort of Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare. I honestly think this is maybe a mistake. I think she's a lot better than people think. So she's a good healer, she revives, but the only problem is she has to revive people to put the heal on, which is what makes her not so useful. You know, if she was like Gorgoreb and could put the heal on without having to revive someone, she would be insane for Clan Boss. But because of that, that's probably why I can only give her a 4. But her block debuffs is a lot better than you think. So I've been using a kind of random team just now, using Eren, Duchess, and the Bulwark, I think it is. It's the rare dwarf character. And I've also been putting in the new Grave Chiller, I think it is, the one that puts on the poison sensitivity. And it's kind of been a really strange build where she's kind of been using the block debuffs to stop the stun happening and keeping them alive for ages, while the other lot kind of put on the poison sensitivity and keep it ticking over with Eren and Bulwark's debuff extenders. So she is actually really useful in Clan Boss if you don't have another champion that's better. So definitely a 4, potentially probably like a 4.5 I would put. Arena defense, she's probably the best in the game. Definitely the best arena support character in the game, so 100% 5. She's in all the top teams for arena, really. Again, arena offense, just because of the way she works, I'm going to put her to a 5 as well. She's fantastic in arena. So the Dragon's Lair, she's also a 5, definitely. Her Perfect Veil puts up a block debuffs, which stops all the poisons and all the debuffs going on you, and it also means you're taking 40% less AoE damage, so this is huge in the Dragon's Lair. Campaign, she's good, she's slow, she's not going to be a speed farmer for a campaign, but she'll get you through those kind of late game nightmare missions, probably just to get you your 3-star campaign, so I would say like a 4.5 anyway. Minotaur, she's great in, but not super fast, but I mean she's never going to not do it, so I'll just put a 5. Ice Golems, also incredible, stops debuffs happening, keeps people alive, she'll revive people, so I'd 5 for this. Spider, she's actually underrated again. I've been running a kind of random team with 3 Cold Hearts, a Kaimar and her, and she stops all the debuffs coming from the poison and gives enough sort of survivability just to let your Cold Hearts nuke the spider, Keimer resets all the abilities, she puts it on again, and then the nuke again and it's dead. So she's actually got a lot of uses in the spider, which is quite good. So I'm going to put a 5 for that. Force Keep's a fairly easy one, to be honest, for any of them. I'm going to put a 5 for that as well. Fire Knights, I don't think she's a 4.8 in Fire Knights. I think this is probably our worst area, so I'm probably just going to put her at a 4. She does have a double hit A1, but not much else going on that's useful for the Fire Knights, so she is definitely usable if you don't have another champion, but I wouldn't say this is her strongest point. Void Keep, again this is a fairly easy dungeon, so I'm just going to put a 5 for that. Magic Keep, she doesn't have a debuff stealer or anything. Again, probably a 4 for this one. Spirit Keep, again, she's not got any heal reduction or something, so there's definitely better champions out there, so just put a 4 for this, because she definitely will beat the Spirit Keep, but not amazing. And Faction Wars, she's 100% 5, she'll carry your team through Faction Wars no problem. Right, and let us submit. Excellent. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed the guide on Duchess Lilitu. Any questions, please leave them in the comments, and if you were lucky enough to get her, congratulations, and I hope you have fun with her. So have a great day guys, take it easy.